Bossy.
Hello and welcome to TNA Top 10. And I got the buttons out of order again, so you might have heard us bitching at each other for a couple of seconds before I started the music video. So it'll be on the YouTube if you want to go back and see that part. But welcome. We already got a few people trickling in. Thanks, everybody. I'm T Weave. This is episode 106 of TNA Top 10. And as you can see, if you're watching, we're doing the top 10 wedding dance songs because it's June and it's wedding season. And the dancing is our favorite part of the wedding, I think.
Yes. And that fist bump was for Aaron Judge, not weddings. Although I love weddings, just obviously not my own. Allison was not cussing. That might have been me.
I think she was. I think we got video of it, video evidence. We got people coming in now. Thanks for coming in. But I haven't even introduced my co-host here, Allison Faye. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? And I would just like to say, this lovely photo was brought to us from a real photo taken at our good friend Lindsay's wedding.
Real wedding.
Real wedding.
Real wedding. Not a divorce.
And the girls,
not a movie.
The girls had a nice, chance to get a good picture taken. And Terry really outdid it with his ChatGPT cartoonification of that picture.
And I actually told him to put the hat on there because
you love that hat.
Because I didn't have the hat at the time, but there you go. How you doing, Andrew?
You got the tie pattern right too, at least mine.
Really?
Pretty close. Yeah, that's pretty close to the tie that I wore that day. I think the one was actually the polka dots and stripes because everybody loves that tie. But yeah, I am good. I have a new lawnmower. I have done less cussing at the grass this week. So as everybody knows, here in the South, it does this funny thing called rain. And when it rains, it gets to 90 degrees. And so grass grows. This is called photosynthesis for those of you who slept through biology back in 8th grade. Well, the problem with that is when you go 10 days without mowing grass and it's rained and then it's 80 degrees and rained and then it's 85 degrees and it's rained and then it's 90 degrees. I now have a commercial grade lawnmower that I threw an adult temper tantrum. See, when you're an adult and you have money, you do those things. At least I do. And I do it more often than I should admit. But I threw an adult temper tantrum, which ended in me getting an $800 lawnmower because apparently they are high. And I don't know that it has anything to do with tariffs or not, but not a fan of paying $800 for a lawnmower that I'm walking behind. But anyway, it is self-propelled.
Wow.
And it's commercial grade.
For a push mower?
Well, it's not a push. It's a self-propelled, but it is also
it's a push mower.
It's a walk behind. But it's commercial grade. Like this thing is like real steel. I mean, I am excited. I did research on it. It's got a 200 cubic centimeter engine. So these are the things that excite me. And then yesterday,
that's a foreshadow for next week.
Hold up here.
90 degree humidity or 90 degrees with 90% humidity. I was sweating in places that you should not be sweating from, except on special occasions that include hotel rooms and double beds. But that's a whole nother story. So, anywho, I'm great. And I didn't get a heat stroke.
Okay, please let the record show that Andrew loves mowing his lawn.
This is true.
Okay.
100%.
So don't let it come out like, oh, poor me. No, he was more than happy to drop that cash.
$800 on a lawnmower, though, is fucking ridiculous. The last one I bought that is getting replaced was only $419. So, yes, that's right. The red sucks. Watch along. Although Paul Goldschmidt just got thrown out at first. It's okay. It's 2-0.
If you see something pop up and then go away, then pop up again, that's because Allison and I hit the button at the same time.
Yeah. You should know better than try to be a producer.
You're not
I
the
wish
producer,
Jazz would
you're
just
the
turn on this ball. Damn.
I'm not. I'm definitely not the producer. I am nothing.
I did
just
wait a
joined
minute to see if you were going to
humor.
do it. And
Wait
then
a
you
minute.
did it exactly when I did it. Impatient. But anyway, welcome back, everybody. It's been a week. We're only.
It's only been a
roll
week.
right now. Yeah.
It's only been a week, Terry.
I didn't forget how to do anything this time.
And his audio sounds amazing comparatively.
You know, I got it on the right settings from the start. And it wasn't as bad as I thought. The reason I thought it was worse last week is when I was speaking and it was not clear, what I was hearing from you guys was worse than that.
Oh.
So in my head, I was sounding like I heard from you guys. So
okay.
It's all behind us. We got it figured out. Did not buy a new headset. I think we're good for now. Make sure it's good and charged up. Maybe that's a factor, but you know, we're moving on. And this week we're talking top 10 wedding dance songs. And there was a, I'm going to say it, a WWE pay-per-view.
Premium live events, sir. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I may, sir. We have moved on from pay-per-view. It is now premium live event available on the Peacock, sir.
Right. So I watched one of those, and we're going to talk about that. And then there was
hold the fucking phone. Terry watched wrestling.
Weirdness.
I know, right?
You act well. Becky was on, so there you go. Terry's got a thing for redheads. It's been well established and documented on this show.
Yeah. And we will talk about her later as part of that.
I'm sure you turned it off after her match was over.
No, there weren't 11 matches as part of this, so I could stay with it.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing of their choice, and we can talk about it when we get there. The comparison of we're going to have a 4-match announced card becomes 5 versus a 4-hour marathon on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's just bad decision making, if you ask me.
But other updates. So we're still not playing soccer, so I got more time on my hands on the weekend. And
too much time on my hands.
So I did discover something new that we're going to try out. So I've played golf. I've played disc golf to the point where I played in tournaments. I even broke my elbow playing disc golf at one point. We'll tell that story at some point.
Yikes.
Pretty embarrassing. But I've got a new form of golf that we're going to try, and Cyrus and I are going to try it out together. There's an 18-hole foot golf course very close to where I work, so we're going to try that out.
I have a great golf story because I was doing my best John Daly one time when I was in college 15 years ago. It pains me to say that because this was graduate school. I played 2 to 3 times the same course every week, 2 to 3 times every week. I shot over 100 every week. Well, this was in the height of the drinking days, or pretty close to the height of the drinking days. So one week, I shot a fucking 85, but I was so drunk. Like, I was so drunk.
You don't remember any of it.
I remember parts of it, but I mean, I was on. Like, I was so relaxed, like nothing mattered. I probably drank a 24-pack of beer on the golf course that day, like legitimately. I go back the next week and shot 109.
Of course.
Never broke 90 on that golf course again. The only thing I can figure is I was so relaxed playing golf that day, nothing mattered. And I call it fetch because I go to the left and I go to the right and I go to the left and I go to the right. But I do enjoy playing golf.
Mine are ducks. My balls are called ducks because they're always searching for the water.
Well, my brother and a couple of my cousins were sub-5 handicaps, so I would play with them. And it was like such a difference between me and them that it wasn't even embarrassing. It was beyond that. I was way suckier than they were, so it didn't even matter. But I went out there one day with my brother, and I was teeing off with my 3-wood, and I was cranking them straight down the middle, 350 3-wood every time. And it's like
nice.
It's one of those. It's like you remember that day you did that? It's like, yeah, I remember that, but I have no damn clue how I did it. Can't do it again.
That's my point. I've golfed the same course for 2 years, never shot better than 90, 95. Shot an 85, never replicated it again, playing the same exact course, about the same exact time, with almost the same amount of alcohol. Terry, I can't tell you how I shot that 85, but I can tell you I shot an 85. What's that?
Maybe it was just bad math because you were drinking so much.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe I was subtracting instead of adding for every beer I had. Who knows?
So I believe Allison was going to ask me what foot golf is, right?
I was, but hold on, because I want to now give my little short
go ahead.
story. So I don't talk about it much, but I lived in Florida for 4 years after I graduated from college.
Oh, I have a story about this too, but go ahead.
Well, it was a lot earlier than when Andrew was in college. But anyway, because of that, I learned how to play golf actually on my company's dime, because they would pay for any college class. And Palm Beach Community College had a Golf 101 class, which included like 12 weeks at the Golden Bear driving range. Fantastic. So that's how I learned to play golf. But then one year when I moved up to Orlando, my brother came down to visit, and he's like, "Oh, I want to go golf." Great. So I booked us at Disney World, one of the Disney courses, right? Thinking, "Oh, this will be so much fun." I didn't make it nine holes. It was like May, and I'm pretty sure I thought I was going to die.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I paid like through the nose for it. So I made my brother finish. I made my brother finish the course, and he was like, "Well, that was great." I'm like, "I think I'm dead now. Please go get me help."
Mark it off the list. We're never going to try that again.
We got a text message, or I saw something on Instagram. This is a fact. It said, if air conditioning is not involved, don't invite me. And that was Allison's word to everybody. Yes. If there's no air conditioning, do not invite her. Secondly, I can confirm that she lived in Florida because she drove like a complete asshole while we were down in Tampa. I mean, 100% legit asshole. 24 ounces of coffee ended up on my lap because she drives like an asshole in Florida. Truth. She's never, ever driven this poorly before until we go to Florida, and it's like she's forgotten how to fucking drive, and it is atrocious. Never, ever, ever again I will be renting the car and I will be driving, because she cannot be trusted. Not in Florida anymore. We drove in Maryland, where this picture was taken, just fine. Drove in Charlotte, North Carolina, just fine. I mean, all of a sudden we get to Trump country, and she thinks that she's fucking Mario Andretti, and I don't know what the fuck she was on that day, week rather. And then we figure out, oh, we don't have to get on the interstate to go everywhere we want to go. Well, no shit.
I will note that in Baltimore, we might have tailgated a listener of the show and harassed him repeatedly for driving like a grandma.
Mm-hmm.
We pretty much is a grandma, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw him playing hockey the other day. They were taking action photos, and he wasn't even wearing skates. I am totally confused by what Bober calls hockey. Totally confused by this hockey nonsense.
Oh, look, Devin just gave us an idea, you guys.
Top 10 balls. Oh, like well.
Shut up, Andrew. All right, let's get back on track. Where were we?
Okay.
What's foot golf? Wait, what's foot golf?
Yeah. I was about to get there. So foot golf is basically golf with a soccer ball, and they've got a big hole.
That's what she said. Yeah, very good.
There it is.
And the flag's in the middle of this hole, and you just kick the soccer ball. So that's what would make Cyrus interested. So they've got an 18-hole course close to where I work. So I'm going to take him out and do that sometime.
You know what nearly 13-year-old Cyrus is not interested in? His father trying to take pictures. That is hilarious to those of us Terry shares the photos with.
Yeah.
Because he is dodging that damn camera.
When he used to smile like happily.
He did. He had a huge smile. It's not that way anymore. We've reached middle school age for sure.
Yeah,
it'll come back. Don't worry.
Terry trying to get a picture of his two boys together, and Cyrus has almost got a full eye roll on. Like it is legit.
Well, we got to transition here. That's one of our top 10 favorite balls. Let's talk about a different ball.
Damn it, Rodon.
And that's the baseball. Let's catch up if we have to. You see my headline here. The Braves did Kimbrel dirty. It's not looking good in Atlanta. The big story at the start of the year was they started 0-7. Well, depending on what happens in their next game tonight, they may have another 7-game losing streak. They've lost 6 in a row. It is just completely falling apart. Luckily, they have the Marlins in the East, so they're not in last place yet. They're only 2.5 games ahead of them. But the freaking Mets have 41 wins, almost the best record in baseball, and they spend all this money to get a guy that's not playing worth crap. And they're still
he went 3 for 3 today and walks it 3 times, but it was Coors Field against the Rockies, so there's that.
Well, the Rockies are historically bad. I mean, really bad.
You know, the worst part about the Rockies is they've got 12 wins or whatever, and one of them was against the Yankees. It's just offensive.
We like to make them feel good, Here's a bone.
What I don't like is this young boy for Boston, who's a rookie, just took one off for Dawn, and now it's 2-2. That's rude. Very rude.
Well, the Red Sox have dropped off just like the Braves, but the Cubs, I kind of do like the Cubs leading the division. That's good until they win multiple World Series. Then I'll hate them too. But the stupid Dodgers are also in the lead at 38-27 in the West.
I'm gonna tell you, here's the problem with the Dodgers, and this is something they haven't developed in New York yet. Although they've had a few intentional walks of Aaron Judge. Go ahead and walk Shohei Ohtani. Okay, no problem. But the next batter is Mookie Betts. And the batter after him is Freddie Freeman. Mm-hmm. And the batter after him is Teoscar Hernandez. And the batter after him is Will Smith. And the batter after him is Kiki Hernandez. And it just goes on and on and on and on. Now, if the Dodgers pitching was any better, they'd have 20 more wins. Because their pitchers are hurt. Oh, stop it, Devin. I mean, you need to get off the devil's lettuce. That's way too much.
Devin says Rocky's going to come back and beat the Dodgers for the West.
Yeah.
Devin, I've got a bridge I'd love to talk to you about, if you're interested in purchasing.
And I got beachfront property in Nebraska. So, I mean, but in all seriousness, Terry, like you're talking about the Dodgers, but they're in probably the second most competitive division in the all of baseball right now.
Right.
Because you have San Francisco and you have San Diego. I wouldn't worry so much about Arizona now. This week, their ace blew his elbow out, Tommy John surgery. Is it Snell or no? That's Blake
somebody
Snell.
Every week. Every single week, somebody.
It's Arizona's pitcher. Oh, and we forgot to congratulate Sale last week for going faster to strikeouts than anybody. And he is a Brave. So there you go, Terry.
Right. Well, he can't pitch every game. I mean, he's not special page, right?
Let's see. I'm looking it up. Pitcher Tommy John. Corbin Burns. My bad. Corbin Burns. So Burns is out for the season for Arizona, but you still have the most competitive division probably in San Francisco, San Diego, and Los Angeles. But then you go to the AL Central, where the Tigers, number 1 in baseball, most wins in baseball. Tariq Skubal is absolutely insane. Yeah. He's the only pitcher that's going to take the Cy Young from Max Fried in the AL. The only pitcher. I mean, that complete game he threw, I think we said this last week, 103 miles an hour last pitch of the game.
Right. Yep.
Through 9 innings, 103 miles an hour. He just won another game recently, but that's the same division with Kansas City, and they have the Twins. And the Twins have been real streaky where they go and they win 10 and 12 games in a row. Then they lose a few, and then they win. So Very interesting. But the Tigers, #1 team in baseball of all teams.
Right.
So,
wow.
The AL West is competitive with each other, just not real competitive with everybody else.
Right. And then, and like I say, this deal here, with the Yankees, Toronto surging a little bit, and Tampa surging, and Boston still down 8.5 games, but the Yankees have won 9 of 11 series, and this needs to be 10 of 12 because you need to win in your division. Right. You can't lose the games in your division and beat everybody else. So I certainly don't want to lose to Boston. Okay. Not the Red Sox. So, but they've had a few scares over there in New York, Terry. But the good news is the $40 million bat and the $1 billion body is coming back next week. And Giancarlo Stanton announced yesterday by Aaron Boone that Mr. October in 2024 is returning to the Yankees. And they're going to make him do a couple rehab games, which is going to be hilarious watching Giancarlo Stanton DH against a minor league baseball team.
You said $1 billion body. I was flashing back thinking we were listening to a Ravishing Rick Rude promo or something.
Nah, that $1 billion body. We have the pictures. We can share them. I can get them to Allison if you need me to. The ESPN spread. You remember the one.
I think the file size might be too big if we end up putting too many pictures in.
Something's too big. But anyway, that's what he said. And the best player in baseball, Aaron Judge, 393, 22 home runs, 52 RBIs, 1.265 OPS. It's not even close. Although Allison loves catchers.
I do.
And so what's his name in Seattle is actually leading in home runs, but his nickname is the Big Dumper. So that is for Allison. He's the Mariners catcher. And I just lost his name.
Where in Seattle? Look at that.
It sounds like a baseball name too. That's the funny thing. And he's beating
Cal Raleigh.
Yep, that's it. Cal Raleigh. He's beating Shohei and he's beating Judge right now in home runs. I think he's
Cal short for Caleb. I've never seen that.
But Cal Raleigh, like if you were to watch a baseball movie, tell me Cal Raleigh doesn't sound like a baseball guy.
It's a good name.
Right.
It sounds like a guy you'd see in the baseball game. I mean, it's not Ricky Vaughn or anything, but still,
he's got a dump
thing. And there's still no timeline on Stroman coming back. Last night, Yarborough gets shelled by Boston early, but the Yankees tried to make a comeback. So this is the least offensive game we've seen of the series. It's only 2-2, but it was 10-8 the other day, or 10-7. Then it was 10-8, and I mean they've scored some damn runs this series. But
what inning are they in?
This is the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs. Grisham just grounded out to first. It's 2-2. But
there are some other baseball games going on right now.
There are
not in the MLB. I mean, there's some other MLB games, but there's some pretty big games going on in the college game right now. Not Auburn, because they don't know how to win a game when they get that far, because they got put out before anybody in the super regionals. But right now we've got Oregon State and Florida State are playing. Oregon State's up 1-0 in the series, and also LSU is playing West Virginia. LSU's up 1-0. Here's the list of teams that have already made it to Omaha. Louisville won against Miami, 2-1. Arizona got demolished by North Carolina 18-2 in the first game, and then won the next 2 games. So Arizona is headed to Omaha. Coastal Carolina apparently can't get beat. Auburn had no chance. They had plenty of chances, don't get me wrong, but they don't know how to do it, apparently. Arkansas, they swept Tennessee, so they're headed to Omaha. And UCLA swept UTSA, and they're headed to Omaha. Duke and Murray State is the only one I didn't mention yet, and they are tied 1-1. And I guess they play their 3rd game tomorrow.
I'm waiting for Andrew to start screaming.
No screaming. Although something did happen that they didn't like here. JC Esquera, he's playing for Austin Wells. Apparently, Rodon likes Esquera as his catcher because they're 5-1 together. Interesting, but anyway,
Maddox always had a personal catcher with the Braves in the '90s. Everybody else would have Javi Lopez. Maddox would have Charlie O'Brien or somebody, a separate guy.
Yeah, so the only note is for Nebraska is that Ndamukong Suh is officially eligible for the NCAA Hall of Fame. And we, Terry, are less than 85 days away from the kickoff of college football.
Suh and Cam Newton may go in the same class.
We're not talking about Cam the man because he wouldn't have stood a chance against Ndamukong Suh. For those of you who don't know, Ndamukong Suh's defensive stats in 2009 were better than Texas, Alabama, and Florida as teams. He had better defensive stats than Texas, Alabama, and Florida. He really was a one-man wrecking crew. In the Big 12 championship game, he accounted for 12 tackles for loss, including 4 quarterback sacks of Colt McCoy. So he literally turned the game on its ear. Like, nobody thought Nebraska was going to beat Texas. And if it weren't for a last-second field goal, Nebraska would have beat Texas. But Texas went to the championship game, Terry, and as you know, because you live in that state, gave Nick Saban number 1 of 6 national championships.
Yeah. That's right. Speaking of Texas and national championships, softball is over. They've already finished theirs, and Texas won their first national championship, and they beat Texas Tech to do it. Meanwhile, Oklahoma's over there laughing like, you got a long way to catch up, Texas.
Yeah, Oklahoma got beat, in the semifinals?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But they did it with a freshman team going for the 5 times in a row. So, as Allison can tell you, oh, shoot, did we have a home run?
That's what Allison's telling us. Oh, shoot.
Oh, no, as Allison can tell you, it's DJ LeMahieu. Gross. We ain't got time for that guy. But it is 3-2 Yankees because he hit a home run. I was going to say,
so FYI, Andrew has a really long delay because that's what when I said something about 15, 20 seconds ago, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, goodness. So his TV is way behind your TV?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm not watching. My dad's watching, and he texted me.
Oh, yeah, but I still think DJ LeMahieu is gross because I want Oswaldo Cabrera playing third base and Jazzy playing second. Opie can play shortstop and Goldie's playing first. Get this fucking clown out of here already. But yeah, I missed it altogether. Oh, he just smoked Devers though. Nice.
We ready to talk some wrestling?
Well, we can talk wrestling, or we can talk that Carlos Rodon just put one on damn Devers. That was good. We don't like Rafael Devers around. Ooh, Money in the Bank. It's a pretty briefcase.
It is. And overall, let's go ahead and get in it. Overall, what did you guys think of the Money in the
Bank?
Allison first.
A solid B.
Okay.
I'm trying to think here. They opened with the main event. That was dumb. Because the women murdered it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And noticed during the show they had 2 Intercontinental title matches and they were back to back. During the Vince era, that would have never happened, where the women's Intercontinental title and the men's Intercontinental title matches were back to back. That would never have happened. The men's match, that stupid spot with old Grande Americano would have been cooler if they'd actually hit the slingshot onto the ladder when he climbed the ladder and he did the ladder. That was like the lamest slingshot in the world.
It was.
But I'm going to give this like a solid B because you had good storytelling. Now, the men's match to me was predictable because who the fuck does Andrade have pictures of, naked ones especially, not Charlotte, that he is still employed? Like, that guy has no business in a professional wrestling ring. And in a ladder match, I'm supposed to believe he's going to win so he can carry a briefcase around and be the number 1 contender. Not happening.
But
so I will give it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll give it a B+ just because it's Money in the Bank. It's not SummerSlam. It's not WrestleMania. It really is a stepping stone. I mean, it is defined as a stepping stone event.
Absolutely.
And I think that they did pretty well with setting some stuff up for later.
But it was definitely a foregone conclusion in my mind in the men's match. If CM Punk did not get involved, there was no way. The only intrigue that happened in the men's Money in the Bank match is Jacob Fatu finally turning on Solo after he heard Solo tell JC, whatever his name is now, Jeff Cobb, that he's all gas and no brains.
Anytime somebody says JC, all I hear in my head is JC Chazé. So I just,
whatever the guy's name is
some
now.
Pictures because we started talking about everything before we got there.
Oh yeah.
Women's Money in the Bank. Naomi, and we always talk about Naomi kind of just being there for that extra person. They're obviously using this, like I said, as a setup for something moving forward. Naomi is not going to win a title and hold it for a year. It ain't happening.
Naomi is in WWE because she's married to Big Jim, and Big Jim is in WWE because he's the twin brother of Jay, who happens to be the world champion. This is nepotism at its finest. And this person has no business carrying around a contract for the number one contender.
Okay, I'm gonna respectfully disagree a little bit, just from the fact that they actually set up this story, and I cannot be mad at that.
They have her in caution tape.
She needed something different. Did you notice they brought back the glow though this week with the caution tape? Like, it was in full effect. But now we've got actually somewhere to go with this. With the other women in the match. Yeah, but I mean, now we could maybe see Bianca turn. Like, how great would that be?
But I do like the fact that they're using her in an actual storyline.
Yes.
For once, instead of her just kind of being that extra person.
Exactly.
Well, and they got to
agree with me.
She's got to beat Tiffy time. Excuse me. That Freudian slip happens every time. She's going to have to beat Tiffy time for the championship.
Devin thinks that she's going to win a title.
It'll be interesting. About like Boston just hitting a home run. Damn it. Rodon has given up 2. It is now 6-3.
Anyway, I thought this match was pretty good. No real complaints at all. Right. I was shocked by the winner.
Yeah.
But once I sat down and thought about it, I was like, can't be mad. At least it's not a shot in the dark.
You don't want it to be the obvious ones.
5-3. There was only one on base.
Okay, I mean, was I upset it wasn't Rhea? Yes. Okay.
No, it
was personally,
yeah.
Andrew's in his own world.
Like, I'm just talking to myself out loud. It annoys me.
Let's move along to the next match.
Carlos is shown back up like expected. Carlos, I'll spot him fucking 3 before I decide to go 15 strikeouts in a row. Rodon is back. So I loved this match. Although it was really weird at the end when he hit the frog splash on the back of this guy who I don't even know. I know he's from AAA.
Octagon Jr.
It was almost like, I don't know, it was like a stamp on the mat. Like it was the exclamation point is the way.
For those on audio, we're talking about Dirty Dom defeating
Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Yes. He needs a haircut. So, I think his hair's a little long.
Cyrus needs a haircut too. I've been trying to push that. But...
So this match, for those of you that don't know, was added from the earlier Worlds Collide Triple Mania show. Now, we haven't talked about that. We didn't put it on here because I don't think either one of you watched it.
I haven't watched it. You talked about how good it was, though.
I watched it, and not only did I watch it, I did recommend it, and I said, you should watch. It was fantastic. Now, I've watched a few Triple Manias. I've watched a few of the AAA events. So good. It was so good. I wholeheartedly enjoyed it. They threw in some history of Lucha Libre and AAA, and it was really great. Like, I was very impressed with how they did
it. Did I really say, if you're just listening, watch this? Surely I did not say those words in that order.
I hope he did. Devin says, and change up the skeleton attire. I kind of like the skeleton attire. Nice little tribute there. But
this match was it was a throw-in. It was a throw-away. You may laugh, but to me, this was the worst match of the night.
Dominic never looked like he was in danger either. Like I didn't really think this was ever a threat. But I think Dom looks good in the ring. There are people that hate his work or his character. I mean, to me, they're about to have the biggest baby face on their hands because when they turn Dominic, and they will, it's going to be huge.
Well, I think it's difficult because he came in and he was kind of pushed early.
Yep,
people don't forget that, and sometimes people don't get over it.
Now, not to interrupt you, Terry, but they didn't like that. You talk about Nepo baby. This is Rey Mysterio's kid, you know, and that's why he's being pushed to the moon.
But to be fair, somebody like my kid only knows Dirty Dom.
Right.
So I think that's what I'm saying. I think you're exactly right. The turn could be epic.
Yeah, but you're right, probably. I mean, this has got to be the most meaningless match of the show.
Yeah.
Even though, it's for a title.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's for a title that they have to make special or they don't. I mean, it's the Intercontinental title. So, the company has to choose to make these titles relevant, or whoever's holding them has to make them important enough that the company realizes they have to make them relevant. So
they could do a tournament for it.
Well,
oh my God, stop.
Jey Uso tomorrow night is going to wrestle Gunther, and who gives a shit? It's for the belt that nobody cares about, but it's the world title.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we had the world title. That's all I'm
going to say. Yeah, one world
Next
title.
match, here we go. This was right before we had a big happening, but Becky Lynch defeats Lyra Valkyria, and they kind of lift each other's arms, and they're in celebration and all, and Lyra puts the belt around her and then suplexes her, if I remember correctly. Something.
So Devin says the winner of the Money in the Bank cash in tomorrow. And if he's talking about Becky and Naomi, I could see that. Becky doesn't need to hold a belt. Becky there's none, zero need. So that's my thought. She's fire all on her own.
Right. I agree with that. She needs to be chasing something. And not this belt. I mean, no offense to this belt, but I mean, she's been
Becky
at a higher level than this, right? So
I'm at the point now where if you put Becky or Charlotte, Charlotte can go sit in the closet. Like, I want to see Becky all day. Charlotte, I've lost that luster for, but Becky, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Charlotte Flair, and I don't know that I think all of her tricks and I think you've seen everything that she has to offer. With Becky, they could actually make her a very good heel rather than a cringy one. Although I don't know that she was really getting booed last night much. People like to cheer who they like to cheer. And
how could you? I just don't know.
And I don't know that Lyra Valkyria, like, this isn't, she conquered the mountain. Okay, get out of here. Whatever, Right. But
I think there's a few up and comers on the women's side, at least a couple. And even though there's a bunch of belts, there's not a lot of room. Even now, we've talked about the women's division not too long ago was thin. It's not anymore. They've got multiple young women coming up, and they got some like Becky that are still there.
Mariah May made her debut in NXT. So
that's right.
Wednesday night as a babyface, it looks like. So,
and we saw what's her name, Stephanie Vakir, in the Money in the Bank, and she's coming.
And she also wrestled in a tag team match earlier in the day.
Yeah, Stephanie put Rhea in her move, as I said was going to happen, and the crowd went crazy.
Question of the night from Devin: should Becky join the Heyman family?
First of all, sir, it's the future. The name of the organization is the future. It is not the Heyman family. that sounds too much like the Keenan family.
I say bring it back along with the Blue Cage, the Heyman family.
Oh my God, that'd be so good. Terry really wants the Blue Cage. If you haven't been listening,
I want it to be as easy and goofy as possible. Yep. I miss my childhood.
Yeah, Terry wants the Big Blue back, which apparently isn't bump friendly. I would say no. Because it's too easy. But having the association with Paul Heyman doesn't hurt anybody.
Right.
So I mean, here's
Bronson
where
Bronson Breaker and Braun Steiner or whatever. Braun Breaker, not Braun Steiner. Bronson and Braun
Reed
are going to have their stocks raised because they're in association with Paul Heyman.
Well, the two of them, they need a microphone. They need somebody else talking for them. Neither one of them is very good on the mic. They're getting better, but that's what Heyman's for. Why I think Becky would work is add something different in the mix. Add a wild card. That's Becky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be fun.
No, that's true. Yeah, because they don't necessarily have a female representative, and the three are very well on their way to developing what their characters are inside that group, meaning Seth and Braun and Bronson. But I mean, those two are just supposed to be his killers. That's pretty clear. That's not a hard thing to figure out. So anyway,
moving along. Speaking of Becky's family,
Seth freaking Rollins.
So
after a lot of happenings in this match, Seth Franklin Rollins. I see. I put the Franklin in there and I messed up the Rollins part. Seth freaking Rollins climbs to the top of the ladder and grabs the Money in the Bank briefcase.
So I was a little shocked because I could not figure out why this wasn't the main event. More on that later. But this was one of the better Money in the Bank, men's Money in the Banks I've seen in a few years. I loved this match. I loved the different ways of using the ladders. I thought it was pretty good. And there weren't too many spots where I was like, oh my God, they're gonna die. So for me, good match.
I thought they did a good job with keeping the AEW light. Oh, Andrade took one right in the balls, and that was from Gable. He dropped that ladder and it smacked him right in the balls. Speaking of top 10 balls, that's a callback for those of you that just joined us. But anyway, the top 10 balls, apparently 2 of them belong to Andrade, and they're swollen this morning. But when you looked at the makeup of this match, be that Chad Gable as El Grande Americano from the Gulf of America, and the Elon and Trump split, it's just got me all excited. But anyway, that's a whole nother podcast somewhere else. So you've got Chad Gable, and you've got Andrade, and you have Penta, who's going to strut ass and do his fun things, but I mean, he's not going to win. This is for a chance to take on the world champion. Then you have LA Knight and Solo in there, and you put in Seth Rollins. The only red herring to this at all was he goes to reach for that briefcase and CM Punk pops up out of nowhere and pushes the ladder over. But this is the only guy worthy of winning Money in the Bank. The only guy. And they did the right thing. So anywho, Seth Rollins wins. Surefire Hall of Famer. I loved Paul Heyman. I think I sent you two a text. Paul Heyman egging on the crowd to keep singing Seth's song was hilarious. When he's like directing the song as they're singing it.
And they accomplished a couple of things here. They got Seth Rollins has a briefcase. That lets them move on with some kind of storyline there. And then you've got the issue with Solo and Jacob Fatu. That's another storyline. When you get multiple storylines out of a match, that's how you handle a multi-man match.
And that one's going to SummerSlam more than likely. I would imagine that Jacob Fatu is going to wreck Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam.
That's going to be great.
You know what? I just out of the blue tangent here. Speaking of El Grande Americano. What I would like to see them do
of America, about like the Tsarina of Tokyo.
I would love for somebody to be interviewing Chad Gable in the back, and El Grande Americano walks up in the stuff, like way fatter than Chad Gable, like it's obviously a different person, you know.
My God, I love
that. But
that.
they play it off like they're like challenging each other or something.
Be like when Hulk Hogan was Mr. America, and the only thing that gave him away was that Fu Manchu, not the tan or the body structure, but under the mask he had the Fu Manchu. So Tim Hill is in. We have loaded bases because why the fuck not? It's
or like
5-3.
The Black Scorpion, you know, it's like multiple people dressed up as the Black Scorpion in WCW.
Oh yeah, Al Perez, Ric Flair. One of the, I think Brad Armstrong rather was one night. They put a lot of people under there. And of course, then there was Ole doing the voice of the Black Scorpion.
Oh, that's right. I knew who was involved somehow. Okay.
Or Devin's idea, 2 El Grandes show up, and it's clearly the Creed brothers.
Then Elias also shows up with his brother.
Oh, good stuff.
Let's walk with Elias.
I mean, I definitely think the solo Fatu one is making it to SummerSlam, and I think that's hopefully that's when we see Roman back.
Oh my God, I miss Roman so much. Did you all see
Fatu? Yeah, it's gonna happen.
TKO wants to renegotiate Roman Reigns' contract. Now I'm gonna get on a tangent like this is Medusa's podcast because that's what we. Did you not call that a strike? You motherfucker!
He doesn't see the box, and they're throwing really fast.
Anyway, clearly, it was right in the top of the zone. Like that is no doubt a strike. Anyway, speaking of a strike, TKO wants to cut Roman's contract. Are you kidding? Andy got the punch through. That sucks. Stupid Boston. 6-3. Anyway, 7-3. 2 scored. This is gross. We're gonna lose this series, Allison. Roman Reigns has done more for WWE in the last 5 years than anybody that you could possibly name. And you're talking about cutting his contract because he's a part-time performer. He can take his talent elsewhere, not AEW, Hollywood, if he chooses to do so. Don't fuck with the golden goose.
Yeah.
The aura,
totally.
The presentation, the elevation. Roman Reigns is sports entertainment. Don't mess with it, because apparently that's what you did with R-Truth, who is also sports entertainment. Yeah, 7-3 Yankees, top of the or bottom of the 6th.
What I wouldn't mind seeing is, I wouldn't mind seeing one of these old school, we have video from Roman kind of deals for several weeks. We haven't seen something like that in a long time. It's always either they're there and you play their music and there's a 10-minute walk to the ring, or they're not there.
I just think losing Roman Reigns would be a huge fumble for this company. And they're not broke. They're trying to, quote, save money and everything else. And I get that Roman's not going to show up to television every week. He's not supposed to. He's the guy that you keep special, that you make that special attraction. He also has a very serious health concern, being a 2-time leukemia survivor that's in remission. He cannot wear himself out. And I get it. It's a little bit of a cop-out for him. But for 1,342 days, Roman Reigns was the world champion and the face of the organization. And you're putting the shit out on social because it's getting leaked from the company that we want to reduce Roman Reigns' contract or restructure it. That happens in sports all the time. I get it. But I think you're flirting with a disastrous proposal and giving him a reason to run away and go in somewhere else.
Yep. Absolutely agree.
Speaking of special wrestlers that don't come around a lot, that have been the focus recently. Okay. Now, and I picked this picture because this is really the story of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But we had John Cena and Jey Uso against, Cody and Jey Uso. I read the note wrong. Defeated John Cena and Logan Paul, and then this masked guy with a hood over his head or whatever comes out. And what do you know? It's R-Truth. After we all heard that he got let go and we were all pissed about it, there he is standing in the ring.
Okay, if I had a video to play, I would play it now. Okay? So this is my producer's piss segment. How dare you, WWE, play with my emotions? Okay? As anybody who knows me can attest, when news that R-Truth's contract was not being renewed, I lost my shit. This man is a national treasure. So when he showed up, and yes, he showed up as Ron Killings, you could have showed up as Papa Smurf. I would have been just as happy. I yelled so loud, I'm pretty sure my neighbors might have checked on me. But this was the best pop of the night and one I did not see coming, which for this group, I don't know how you guys felt, but that doesn't happen very much anymore in wrestling.
Yeah, so Triple H after the show says this was all the work, part of the plan. Every wrestling media outlet on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. We don't change things, do we, Terry? It's Twitter.
It's Twitter.
As
long as I can top Twitter.com and get there, it's Twitter.
Yeah.
Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, Wrestle Purists, all the rest of them, reporting he was indeed released, and it took Nick Khan to make a phone call to get him back to the table because of the outrage fans had. I don't know how much of that's true or false, but I can promise you, I believe his release was genuinely real, and that they backed up when they saw the outpouring. Because they will back up when they have to.
Good. I hope they paid for it too.
Like honestly. Allison, I couldn't figure out why the hell they'd let him go in the first place. Like seriously, I get maybe he was asking too much money in your opinion or whatever, but now he's no longer R-Truth either. He is now Ron Killings, so he's going by his real name. And Devin points that out. Apparently, there's T-shirts for Ron Killings now on Shop, but yeah, he is going as Ron Killings, not R-Truth. And anyway,
Ron Killings is taking the belt off of Cena. I called it. That's it. I called it before when he was R-Truth. Y'all laughed at me, but this is how it's going to happen now. I have no doubt.
Well, and keep getting older and older, huh?
They keep getting more and more convoluted too. In that you've got R-Truth or Ron Killings now against Cena, and you're going to have Cody in here, and somehow Cody's got something going on with Heyman and Seth, if you saw the end of SmackDown Friday, and then you've got Logan Paul involved, and somehow Jey Uso and Gunther. I mean, this is a clusterfuck right now. And I don't know that they have a real direction, but the clusterfuck is to protect John Cena. That would be my opinion, is all the extra stuff you have going on around is to protect John Cena.
Yeah.
I don't know what his expiration date or the end game is, if it's SummerSlam or we're going to run it all the way to Survivor Series. God, I hope not. But they are trolling people to the point where he is finishing every match, if you've noticed, the same way with that belt shot. Every single match is ending with that belt shot. So, I mean, it's time to move on. If you want to put the belt back on Cody, put it back on Cody. Or do what I would do and bring in the tribal chief, the real owner of the championship.
Devin's prediction is that Seth hangs on to the Money in the Bank case until Cody defeats Cena, then Rollins cashes in on Cody ASAP.
Would be far more interesting than what they have going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
I think that's what happens. The Money in the Bank. That's how I think it happens. But I think it's from Ron Killings.
Yeah, I think as soon as Cena loses, that is his farewell moment. And
I agree.
There's nothing else after that.
I don't think, though, and you guys could correct me if I don't think that the Money in the Bank thing makes sense to go after Gunther, even though they're on Raw. Like the Heyman faction is on Raw. I assume Gunther is going to win the championship tomorrow. because losing to Jey Uso 3 straight times, gross. And I get that Jey Uso has an entrance, but that's what Jey Uso has, is an entrance.
Unless they're using this setup to set something else up, and that match isn't actually going to happen. Because did you notice at the end of this match, Cody picked up the microphone? Did you notice when they came back and Cody had the microphone, he was talking to everybody about if they're going to watch the match on Monday and who's going to win it? And I'm like, that's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
No, that's a fair point.
Setting something up. Hey, be sure to watch this match. It may not be what you think it's going to be.
Hector Cena is getting old. That by the end, everyone will want him gone. Heather's got a point.
Yeah. I also want to point out that Devin and Alex really liked Logan Paul's moonsault onto the announce table. And apparently the drone thing.
What about the fact he missed his own finishing move, the buckshot lariat? I know that Adam Page over there on is it Adam Page? Yeah, Hangman has been stealing Logan Paul's move for years in the buckshot lariat. Oh, damn it! If our man Logan Paul didn't slip and fall, kind of like the Red Sox pitcher yesterday slipped and fell off the mound and got a balk. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. Seth hangs on. The drone shot of Logan getting suplexed followed by the Uso splash was awesome. Yeah, you got to give WWE production its flowers. They don't screw around. Yeah, they don't screw around. The incorporation of drones has been fantastic and the single shots, like you get the one shots all the way. I mean, they know what they're doing.
I will wholeheartedly say I really loved watching Logan Paul holding the drone while he got and I don't remember what move it was.
It was a suplex. Alex has it there.
Thank you. The suplex off the rope. There you go. Yes. That was great. That was awesome. You know, sometimes we get the camera from the ref, but you don't normally get it from the wrestler during a match.
Yeah, I thought it was good. And I give the pay-per-view, as Terry calls it, because we don't change around here. Even though it is a PLE. I would give it a B or B plus. I didn't see anything wrong with it. And there was nothing really egregious to complain about. Yeah. Now, when you give me AEW, I've got plenty to complain about.
Oh, Amy, yes, we did. She wanted to know if we already talked about the women's Money in the Bank.
Yes, of course we did. Where have you been? The show starts at 8 o'clock, ma'am. That's 7 o'clock Central. Ma'am. Of course we talked.
So
that's okay. That's okay.
That's all right. Speaking of the other wrestling company, they had a marathon this week, right, Terry?
Marathon. Look, I figure, are we still torturing terrorists? Because if we are, all you need to do is make them watch AEW. They'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Sorry, I'm answering a question.
Are we not? Are we not torturing terrorists anymore?
Oh, no, we always torture terrorists.
Okay, so we need to show them this AEW product. That's what we need to do so we can get the answers the fastest. There's no reason to beat people up anymore. Make them, all this torture you see on TV and shit. Let's just show them AEW.
We don't. So I don't know how many total hours. I guess it was 6 total hours. Was it 4 hours Dynamite, 2 hours?
Collision? Are you serious? No. That's nuts.
It was 4 total hours between the two. And guess what? They liked it so much they're doing it again this week.
No, they're not. Shut up.
So anyway, so there were 11 total matches. We're not going to show pictures and talk about 11 total matches.
Hell no.
I chose 3 pictures. But
I stayed awake for 4 matches. So just to give you all a heads up.
Come on, Jazzy.
I did not.
Kenny Omega. We had this big tournament for the international title. And no effect. Basically had a tournament and we are where we were. So
except for you get what everybody has been waiting for 8 years.
Correct.
And that is Okada and Omega one more time.
Yes, so I also might have flipped my shit when I realized that. Because that's gonna be a match.
Jazzy with a sack fly, 7-4 Boston.
Take it.
Yeah,
but we did have Moxley, that Moxley Mark Briscoe match that was a non-title match. That if you're going to have the champion win, why is it a non-title match? What does that accomplish?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't
get somebody some screen time. That's it.
Well, and that's like, they do these stupid eliminator matches and a future match if you win. Yeah. Why? They're the champ. If you're not going to have them win, don't worry about it. Just beat them and have it be a regular match. The God of Pro Wrestling is next level, though. And Swerve and Ospreay will be a good match this coming week. I'm sure it's the main event of the Dynamite segment of this 4-hour marathon. It's another name, Dynamite. I forget what Tony's called. Summer something or whatever.
Something Bash. Summer Bash.
Something like that. So it's going to be a 4-hour event. It's because of the playoffs. This is how much Turner thinks of fucking AEW wrestling, that they move the programming any chance that they get.
Summer scam.
Summer scam. Yeah, if you're going to run 4 hours, okay, and you finally have Okada and Omega announced for All In. All right, this is just like Tony Khan thinking that Swerve Strickland needed to give the title up to Bryan Danielson before we got this shitty ass Death Riders nonsense. Kenny and Okada will not deliver. Summer Blockbuster will not deliver the way they did in Japan. We're too many years removed, and Okada has taken his foot off the gas pedal. He's got nothing to prove. He is not the wrestler he was in 2018, and you are not going to see what you saw in Japan. And here's the other thing the reason you're not going to see it, because it's happening in AEW. When Kenny Omega wrestles in Japan,
oh God,
he is the God of pro wrestling. It is a completely different presentation. He and Gabe Kidd went 30 minutes. You put them in Wembley at Texas, it'll be a good match, but it's not going to burn the house down the way their other 4 have.
Yep, agreed. What other matches did we have? Because there were so many.
We talked about Moxley. There was that Will Ospreay defeated Leo Rush, but I mean that's got to be
next.
Why? Okay, hold on though.
Nope.
Will Ospreay is your easily number 2 babyface in the company, or maybe 3. Hangman Adam Page, Ospreay, and Swerve. He's up there.
Isn't even.
Why are you having him wrestle that Muppet Leo Rush?
Right.
And then he gets attacked by Action Andretti after the match.
It's like somebody brought their whiny toddlers to take your kid to work day. That's who they remind me of, just so you know.
Although he did have a haircut, and apparently his wife felt the same way about his haircut as you did, Allison. That Will Ospreay's haircut was absolute trash.
You heard it. Did you hear him say that when he was showing why he was wearing a hat? Yeah.
Yeah. So my decisions for pictures were mostly based on title matches. And there were 11 matches. You know how many title matches we had?
0.
2. And here's the other one. Nick Wayne.
Oh, Lord. I'm so glad I didn't say Wayne.
Hold on a second. This guy's got the most punchable face in the world. But true story, this just happened. Volpe just hit the ball back at the pitcher and hit him in the ass. I swear to God.
So let me ask this question. Was this a Nick Wayne match or was this a Christian match? Do we know? Because I didn't watch this. My problem with Nick Wayne, because I have nothing against Nick Wayne, I hate what they've done to him. He is now in Christian shadow. This poor kid is never going to grow. He's never going to grow. He's never going to have his own name anymore. Now he's just associated with Christian, and this is a bad gimmick. It did not take off like they wanted it to. Go ahead.
This dude must do some serious squats because he just changed the trajectory of this baseball with his ass. It's far more interesting than anything Nick Wayne is going to do. Nick Wayne is so boring and so bad. And then the AARP of professional wrestling, Tony Khan, and giving Christian a contract and Edge a contract and Jericho a contract. If R-Truth had gone to AEW, would have thought he was back in WWE. But anyway,
hold
Nick
on.
Wayne,
I want to point something out. We haven't seen the learning tree in a while.
No, he's on tour with Fozzy.
So don't complain, because this is a good break. This is good things.
And I saw Nick Wayne before he was in AEW, and
I agree. That's what I agree.
Yeah.
And since there were no other title matches to talk about,
it's only the only
other match that would possibly have a picture, and I hope she's still here. FTR defeats Templario and Atlantis Jr. Apparently,
people that don't matter for 1,000, Alex. Well, we're doing Lucha Libre.
Oh, there she is.
We're doing Lucha Libre in AEW. Bitch, do you even know what Lucha Libre is? Do you understand the mask and the uniforms and the movements? No, you don't. Shh.
Thanks to Jack Black, I know all of that stuff.
That's correct.
Just meet a Tony Khan, Allison.
All right. Yeah, there's nothing. You know what?
Says, I'm surrounded by children.
This has left me down here. I would like to be up here. How do we do that?
So that's Fyter Fest. So what can we do next? What else do we have to do on this show?
I will say, hold on, before you get there. The Will Ospreay Swerve Strickland match should be a banger, and I would imagine there's going to be something that leads to the third match at All In. I bet you that's their match. They'll have the rubber match because, of course, they've had the first one. This will be the second one. Now, that match will be worth watching. About like the Hangman match versus Ospreay was worth buying that stupid-ass pay-per-view, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so that's all the wrestling for tonight. And it is June. And what happens in June? You got a lot of folks getting hitched, and it should be a big celebration. And we try to make it that way when we're involved. And tonight, we're going to tell you the top 10 wedding dance songs,
as chosen by us. And
sorry, I had to tell the dogs to be quiet. They started barking.
And thank you, people, for voting and all that.
How was voting this week, Terry?
It was good. It was good. It was up from last week, we'll say.
All right.
Up from last week. That's awesome.
So was there any blaming of Terry this week?
No, I don't think so. I do see something about Thinking Out Loud did not make the list. Is that something I had in the first list and we voted it out, or what?
I don't think it made it at all. We do have a walk for a run, 7-5 Yankees.
So that maybe there's the blame Terry, blame ChatGPT, blame the committee.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the reel, though, of the first dance? I know I've sent it to you. So, everybody, this is a wedding song related. This is a reel I know I sent this crowd. Thinking Out Loud is a song by Ed Sheeran, and it starts when your legs don't work like they used to before.
Oh, yeah.
A DJ opened a wedding with someone in a wheelchair with that song, when your legs don't work like they used to before. And so Thinking Out Loud did not make this list. And I'm quite disappointed, Terry.
It is a good song, though. It's a great song. I love that song.
And the other song that did not make the list by Jason Mraz, I think it's Jason Mraz, is, how does it go? It's the I Won't Give Up on Us song.
You've all heard it. If I heard it, yeah.
You've all heard it.
These are the tougher lists, things where there are so many options out there.
Correct.
To really come up with 30. I think we ended up with 40, 45 this time again. But it's difficult sometimes. This is one of the more difficult. Why don't we talk about what just missed the list?
Yes, let's talk about what just missed.
Cotton Eye Joe from Redmond.
Okay.
Allison, what's wrong?
Nothing.
Do you want Cotton Eye Joe on the list?
I mean, did I have this song on at my practice wedding? Maybe.
Practice wedding.
I mean, no, honestly, my reaction was due to the second, third songs on this list here. Because who are you people? What's wrong with you?
Okay, I will say the top 10 is a pretty good mix of stuff.
Living on a Prayer, though,
second one,
I
Bon
don't know.
Jovi. Everybody's going to join in and sing this song.
Living on a Prayer, though, at a wedding? Come on, folks. And Mr. Brightside?
Yes, they're sing-along songs.
Mr. Brightside by the Killers and Die Happy Man. A lot of people probably don't know that song, but I do like that song. I just don't think
like it.
Wedding Dance when
I didn't watch Cheers. Too much to answer.
He's too young. So some of our polls are like, hey, this stuff from the 80s. And a lot of our listeners are like, I wasn't a person in the 80s. Yeah. Let's talk about what did make the list. Number 10, Love Shack by the B-52s.
B-52s.
This is one of my kids' favorite songs. This is
which is ironic because it's so filthy.
Dirty. So I explained it to him.
Oh no!
Explained what a lot of
it meant. One of his favorite songs.
This is and he was like that they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I explained what Tin Roof Rusted meant, and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "You're welcome." Well, it's one of the things we work on is understanding different, phrases and turns of, phrase. So.
Oh yeah. Back in the 80s,
this is a great one.
It's nothing like those memes where like somebody's mom, like older mom, is texting them something and the mom doesn't really know what it means. Like the whole lots of love.
Yes,
like
LOL.
I just announced that your granddad died to everybody and I put LOL.
LOL. Yeah, exactly. This is a good one though. Again,
it is. Everybody sings along.
Dances.
With it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Good one.
Number 9. Uptown Funk. Mark Ronson featuring Bruno Mars.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Bruno is great.
Yes.
Big fan
agreed.
of Bruno.
I danced to this at the last wedding I went to, which was my pseudo brother-in-law and his wife. It's my sister-in-law's brother, so he's kind of like my brother.
Okay.
Yeah. Good one.
You're
good one.
Derivative of in-law.
I know.
Number 8.
All right.
Sweet Caroline. This is another everybody's
song.
You don't agree with it. I'm telling you, this is number 1.
This is everybody who's not a Yankee fan put this as number 1 just to piss us off. No, this song never
Alabama
goes on
does
anything.
This too.
Please note that my father said he loves Bruno. That is because of the Super Bowl show he did.
Oh.
My father was like, "Who is this guy? He's great." There you go. And thank you very much, Devin, for saying exactly what I said. This is the Red Sox song.
See, I was even agreeing with it, even though I'm an Auburn guy.
No. It's just no. Next.
Number 7, the Macarena. Los Del
Macarena?
The first one to piss Bober off.
I thought the Macarena.
I have not.
Macarena.
I can't remember the last time I heard this at a wedding.
This was huge back in the day.
They just
when we were kids.
What songs can you get people dancing to in a big group? In this,
to me, there are better, like step dances than this.
Like the chicken dance.
I don't hate
that. Is a good. That is a good one.
I don't hate the chicken dance.
I probably voted for it.
I did.
Oh,
then again, I voted for like 16 or 18 songs because I couldn't.
Of course, mostly chicken dance is that 7th inning stretch at the baseball stadium or something.
Mm-hmm. All right, what do we got next?
Number 6, Cupid Shuffle. And the best picture I had was people dancing to it at a wedding.
I like this one. This one's good. This one's very good.
This is one that's always going to get played. I mean,
yep.
It just is.
Nobody gets mad. This is a good one.
Right.
This is one of the songs where the people who don't want to dance with like everybody else, they'll get up and they'll do this one because you can kind of have your own space and be done.
And this was made for this. Some of the other ones just kind of got pulled in. This was made for it.
Absolutely. Good one.
Number 5. Can't Help Falling in Love. Elvis Presley.
Practice wedding song.
Some of these are slow dance songs, and some of these.
This was my wedding song. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, was it?
And fun story. We didn't have one. So the day of the wedding, the band was like, "Do you have a wedding song?" And he looks at me, and I look at him, and I said, "Yeah, I'll just pick something." So there you go.
Pretty sure my mom and dad's wedding song was "Wonderful Tonight," which is
that's a good one, and it wasn't even an option on the list.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I think.
Like I said, these lists are hard.
This should be number
lists
one.
are hard. That should be a T-shirt. Putting together lists is hard.
That's what he said.
Number 4, "Twist and Shout" by the Beatles.
100%.
That. Well, no. That we were doing. That wasn't the song I was dancing to with Lindsay and her grandma. What was it? We danced to "Shout," not "Twist and Shout." Shout.
Yeah, that's different.
Oh no, that also wasn't on the list. Man, we were really bringing a lot of them up, aren't
we? Yeah, Shout. Come on, Lasagna.
Number 3, "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's that obvious move for "Staying Alive."
I mean, come on.
I mean,
everybody wants to do it, so
it's easy.
Exactly.
You don't really even have to dance too much.
Lasagna with the neck tattoos.
That's right.
Number 2, "Perfect" by Ed Sheeran.
By Ed Sheeran. There you go.
I
went to an Ed Sheeran concert at Raleigh, and I got stuck in. Yeah, this was 2015 or 16. I got stuck in front of some teeny boppers and the mama. And the mama was worse than the teeny boppers singing along to Ed Sheeran songs.
This is why Lex hates going to concerts with me, unless we go to one with a lawn so he can be far away from me while I sing all the songs. Yeah.
Devin said
and a wedding song.
And his wedding song.
Oh, Devin, I love that.
I'm glad Devin's here tonight. He's a new daddy. He doesn't get to sleep much these days.
That's right. All right.
And number 1, any guesses?
Electric Slide.
Nope.
Okay.
Number 1, Cha Cha Slide.
Okay, that's good. That works. I knew it was going to be one. I knew it
had one of those built for this kind of thing.
Yeah, this made number 1 though.
Think about it. A song for a wedding. You want to get people to dance, so this is perfect. All of these kinds are absolutely perfect. Ooh, look, Alex did get it. Good job.
Cha-cha slide.
Oh, I thought that he said that after we announced it, and he was like, "What the hell?"
Everything takes a minute.
Now he's on a lag.
Otherwise, I would have given him credit for it.
Too funny.
All right, I'll run it down. Number 10, "Love Shack." Number 9, "Uptown Funk." Number 8, "Sweet Caroline." Number 7, "Macarena." Number 6, "Cupid Shuffle." Number 5, "Can't Help Falling in Love." Number 4, "Twist and Shout." Number 3, "Staying Alive." Number 2, "Perfect." And number 1, "Cha Cha Slide." And that is your top 10 wedding dance songs.
I would like to note
that is fantastic.
To number 1, Alex replied, "As a white guy, I know all the moves to this." So Cha Cha Slide, like I said, any kind of song or prescribed dance that anybody can memorize is a good thing. I like that.
Yes.
That was a fun list.
And if you don't have to move too fast, it helps too.
Oh yeah. Some of us are lazy. Some of us melt. Some of us melt if the temperature, rises 5 degrees. So
yeah, Allison is not going to your wedding south of Virginia if it is after April 30th. I'm just letting you all know. Don't invite her. Don't invite her.
Unless it's a destination wedding on the beach, then you can invite me because I will.
Yeah, open air is different than no air conditioning. So
correct.
Good list. Yeah. Thanks everybody that participated. We will talk about next week's list right before we wrap it up. But before that, let's talk about our friends over at Talking Wrestling with Pondwater and Amy. They will be recording on Wednesday this week because of some conflict earlier in the week. I'm not sure who they're going to have on. I'm really bad at figuring that part out. But anyway, it's always good. So check them out. Talking Wrestling with Pondwater and Amy.
He meant wrestling. That's RASSLIN. That's wrestling, but that's
yeah. I had the weird. I said wrestling. Like
you said wrestling. Like you're
I
not
left the G off, but I said wrestling. That's.
Yeah.
Does anybody actually say that way?
No.
Eddie Martinez, Amy says. Thank you. I didn't know if you
where's
were still
Eddie
here.
from? The streets?
No, that's the other Eddie.
Tell me he's from the island of pro wrestling, like last week's guest, because in the notes it said island of pro wrestling instead of island.
Oh, not island pro wrestling. I like that. I'm gonna call
I said island of pro wrestling, like the guy's trying to be part of the island of relevancy.
Okay.
Partner to Nate Collins, who was on the show.
Okay. All right. We'll be sure to tune in. We always do. Thank you, Amy.
A lot of fun over there.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Good show. Oh, did I not? Okay.
What'd you mess up?
I thought I had another slide to transition to, but apparently this is the last one. So I'm sitting here hitting the button like, why is it not going? Why is it not going? So we'll get away from the slides and we'll just bring our. You're welcome, Amy. Thank you all for talking about us every week. It really helps out. And thanks for sharing our stuff. We love you guys.
Yep.
Yes, we do. And we also love Big Time Belts. Big Time Belts was introduced to us by Pondwater Dave, and they are a sponsor of Talking Wrestling. They've also advertised and sponsored for this show, TNA Top 10. Whatever you need a belt for. It's almost Father's Day. You may need a belt for it. So
that would be a good one. Probably a little too late to order one right now, but
Big Time Belts, high quality, low prices. One time Dave said it was low quality, high prices, which was hilarious. That's not how you do a proper ad read. He could take notes from me, but that's okay. High quality, low prices. Contact Big Time Belts for all of your belt needs.
So you mentioned Father's Day. Next week, our poll is going to be top 10 TV dads, and we've already got some feedback because we did the TV moms list. We didn't have Roseanne on there. We said we damn well better have Dan Connor on there this time. So there's a few others that got left off.
So I have a question. Are we putting Cliff Huxtable on the list?
Oh, only
why wouldn't we? Right? Because he was a TV dad.
There's also a
real life guy.
We're putting here's the deal. We put the control in the listener and voters' hands. We're not gonna make that choice for you. So he'll be on there.
Okay. I agree. I think he should be on there.
So
I never watched The Cosby Show. It is a little too old for me.
Oh my God, just shut up. Stop making me feel my age, all right? Nope.
Was the Big Show a dad on the Big Show show? I remember that on Netflix.
I think so.
I didn't know if he was a dad or
not. The Big Show.
It's a good try, Devin, but that ain't gonna work.
Which way did he go? Which way did he go? I love when The Rock used to roast the Big Show.
So that'll be next week. We're going to get a special link out to those of us that are on the committee to choose what the choices are. So it can't be Terry's fault completely every week. If we leave things off, it's not just me.
All right.
Yeah. Somehow we left off thinking
we
out
left
loud.
Off quite a few.
and I laughed because what did I complain about to get added on, and it was the chicken dance.
That's right. And it's a good song.
Well, I used your logic of what songs do we hear at weddings often.
Yeah. So sometimes it's a funeral dirge. Damn it, Rice. Struck out again. Still 7-5 Boston. This is absurd. Like, if you're gonna lose to a team, let's not be the Red Sox.
Let's just remember this is also
to the Mets.
We lost to the Rockies, Andrew. It happens.
No, but this would be a series loss.
Oh,
that's two. Yeah, we can't do that. No. Judges up.
Apparently, the Pirates swept the Phillies, and it's way too late for the Braves to care about that. Thanks, Bober.
You know, the worst part is this is only June 8th or 9th, and the All-Star break hasn't even happened yet.
And that's also in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's right around my birthday. Yep.
Well, they ain't gonna get him swinging at his ankles. I know he's a big bastard, but he ain't gonna swing for that pitch. Good Lord. 6'8", 280.
We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Allison, Amy, Devin, Alex, Dad. I'm trying to think of all who commented. That may be all
George
commented.
Heather.
Oh, Heather commented. Thank you, Heather. Heather's always got. Let me tell you, Heather knows her wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good to have Heather there to back you up on stuff.
Absolutely agree.
She doesn't have to go Google it like I do. Thanks, Devin. It's always fun when we have enough people in here talking to us. Great list. Next week, like I said, we're going to have top 10 TV dads. We're trying to stay a week ahead so we can tell you what it's going to be. But that should be coming out in the next few days. Thanks, everybody. And so that we don't delay too much, love your people. Tell them you love them. Make it weird. See you next time, everybody.